I, 32F, am still trying to wrap my head around everything, but honestly, a weird sort of calm has settled in. My mother-in-law, Eleanor, 60SF, has never been my biggest fan. It's been 5 years with my husband, David, 34M, and she's made her disapproval known in 1,000 little ways. Passive-aggressive comments, forgetting I don't eat certain things, comparing me to David's exes. David usually just sighs and says, "That's just Mom." Thanksgiving was at her place. I was trying to help in the kitchen when Eleanor and her sister, Aunt Mildred, 60SF, went out to the back porch for a private chat. The kitchen window was slightly ajar. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but then I heard my name. Mildred. "Are you sure about this, Ellie? It seems a bit much." Eleanor. "She's ruining everything." David's not himself. This family was fine before her. A good strong dose in that weird cranberry stuff she insists on bringing, and she'll be too sick to cause trouble for a good while. Maybe she'll even rethink things. Mildred. "But what if someone else eats it? What if it's worse than you think?" Eleanor. "No one else touches her gluten-free nonsense. And it's just a special recipe from an old gardening friend. Guaranteed to clear you out. She'll think it's a stomach bug. Serves her right." My blood turned to ice. "Clear you out." I fumbled for my phone, hit record, and caught the last 30 seconds of them chuckling about how I'd probably blame her cooking. It wasn't a plan to unalive me. Not exactly, but to make me violently ill. My hands were shaking. I didn't confront them. I just acted normal. Avoided her cranberry dish, obviously. David noticed I was quiet, but I brushed it off. The recording has been sitting on my phone. Eleanor, meanwhile, has ramped up her usual complaints, telling David I'm divisive. Little does she know I've got receipts. I haven't told David about the recording yet. I needed to think. This is next level. She's pushing for a big family dinner next week to clear the air. Oh, we'll clear the air, all right. Update 1. Well, things came to a head last night at F.I.L. Arthur's in Eleanor's house. David's sister, Chloe, 30F, was there too, clearly pre-briefed by Eleanor on my latest transgressions. The evening was tense. Eleanor was laying it on thick, sighs, pointed looks, comments about some people not understanding family loyalty. Chloe chimed in, agreeing with her mom. David looked uncomfortable, but didn't say much, his usual way of handling Eleanor. Then came dessert, and Eleanor launched. "Eleanor, Sarah, dear, we need to talk. I feel like ever since you came into David's life, this family has been strained. It's all just falling apart." Her voice was rising. "And frankly, it's mostly your fault." This was it. Everyone looked at me. Me. "Eleanor, I accept your feelings. You're entitled to feel however you want." I kept my voice very calm. Eleanor looked momentarily stunned. "Chloe, Mom's right, Sarah. You can be very difficult." Before it could escalate, I turned to David. "Me? David, can we talk privately for a moment?" He nodded. We went into the study. "David, what's going on, Sarah? Are you okay?" "Me? Not really. There's something you need to hear." I played the recording. His face went from confused to shocked to absolutely furious. He listened to it twice. "David, they were going to poison you?" "With what?" "Me. Something from her garden in my cranberry sauce. To make me severely sick." "David, that's not just her being difficult. That's criminal." He was shaking with anger. We went back to the living room. Eleanor, Arthur, and Chloe were sitting there, Eleanor looking smug. "David," voice dangerously quiet, Mom. "What exactly is your special recipe for clearing someone out?" "Eleanor, what are you talking about, David?" She tried to look innocent. "David, the one you and Aunt Mildred were discussing on Thanksgiving? The one meant for Sarah's cranberry dish." Eleanor's face went pale. Chloe and Arthur looked baffled. "Eleanor, I don't recall. We were just joking around." "Me? Really?" "Because it didn't sound like a joke, Eleanor." David pulled out his phone. "I have a recording of you and Mildred talking about it. About intentionally making my wife sick." "Eleanor, a recording? That's an invasion of privacy." "David, I can, and I am." "Dad, Chloe, listen to this." He played it for them. Arthur looked horrified. Chloe's jaw dropped. Eleanor started sputtering. "It's not what it sounds like. She's twisting my words." "David, twisting your words? You talked about a good, strong dose. You said, serves her right. There's no twisting that, Mom. His voice was still controlled. I'm calling the police. Eleanor, the police? David, don't be ridiculous. Arthur, son, maybe we could just talk this through? David, talk what through, Dad? She plotted to harm my wife. He actually did it. He called them, explained the situation and the recording. 2 officers arrived about 30 minutes later. Eleanor was a mess, crying, then yelling, then playing the victim. Chloe was trying to comfort her, now glaring at me. The police listened to David, listened to the recording, then took Eleanor and Arthur aside. They didn't arrest her then. They said it was a serious allegation and they'd investigate, but they gave her a stern warning about harassment and making threats. They took a copy of the recording. Eleanor was seething. Arthur looked broken. Chloe was shouting at David about how he was destroying the family. David just told her she threatened my wife, Chloe. That's not silly. We left. I'm still processing. David is furious and disgusted with his mother. The fallout is going to be massive. Update 2. It's been 3 weeks since David called the police. The smear campaign is in full swing. Eleanor, with Chloe as her loyal parrot, is painting me as a manipulative which trying to tear their family apart over a harmless joke. Chloe has been vicious, posting vague but pointed things on social media about toxic in-laws and people who fake victimhood. Some of David's extended family are buying it. Aunt Mildred, of course, is backing Eleanor 100%, claiming they were just fantasizing and that I'm a vindictive little liar. The first dirty trick came last week. An anonymous complaint to my HR alleging I was emotionally unstable and prone to fabricating stories. Thankfully, my boss knows me, and HR documented it, but told me not to worry unless something concrete emerged. It was clearly Eleanor or Chloe trying to mess with my job. That crossed the line. David has been a rock, completely cutting contact with Eleanor and Chloe. He's been clear. His mother threatened his wife. He has proof, and he won't stand for it. Arthur is trying to mediate, but David told him there's nothing to mediate until Eleanor takes full responsibility. After the work complaint, I consulted a lawyer. She reviewed the recording, which I had transcribed and notarized, and said we had grounds for a cease and desist for harassment and defamation, and potentially a restraining order. So, David and I, through our lawyer, sent formal cease and desist letters to Eleanor and Chloe. The letters detailed their actions, included the notarized transcript, and warned of further legal action for any continued harassment or defamation. Their response? Predictable. Eleanor left David a tearful, rambling voicemail about how dare we threaten her, how the recording was faked or edited, and how I was a horrible, evil person. Chloe texted David abuse, calling him a disgrace and me a gold-digging psycho. We saved everything and sent copies to our lawyer. David did some frantic research into Eleanor's gardening friend's recipe, based on plants she grows like castor beans or oleander. It seems her plan wasn't necessarily lethal, but to use their properties to cause a violent, prolonged, and incredibly painful sickness. The intent was clearly to cause significant harm, the clearing out she mentioned. This isn't about revenge. It's about safety and peace. She threatened me. She's trying to ruin my reputation and job. Final update. It's been about 4 months since the cease and desist letters, 6 months since Thanksgiving. Things have settled, but not how Eleanor hoped. Chloe violated the C&D by posting a defamatory rant about me on a local community Facebook page. Our lawyer was on it immediately. A sharply worded update, threatening a restraining order and defamation suit if it wasn't removed within 24 hours with a public retraction, did the trick. The post vanished. The police investigation into the initial threat didn't result in criminal charges for attempted poisoning. Proving intent for a felony versus severe illness was a high bar without more. However, the recording, the harassment, the work call, and Chloe's online activities were more than enough for a civil restraining order. We went to court. Eleanor and Chloe fought it. Their lawyer argued the recording was inadmissible locker room talk, that I was hypersensitive. Our lawyer calmly presented the transcript, harassment timeline, HR complaint, and Chloe's social media screenshots. The judge wasn't impressed with Eleanor's theatrics. She cried, claiming she loved me like a daughter. David testified coolly about his mother's actions. The judge listened to the recording. Result: a 2-year restraining order against Eleanor and Chloe. They must stay 100 yards away from me, my home, and workplace. No contact. The judge noted Eleanor's lack of remorse and escalating behavior. The social fallout for them has been significant. Arthur, seeing the evidence and their lies in court, is reportedly strained with Eleanor. He's apologized profusely to us and sees us occasionally, quietly. Many relatives who initially sided with Eleanor changed their tune once the restraining order was public and David shared the recording details. Aunt Mildred is still Team Eleanor, but they're an isolated camp. Eleanor is apparently miserable. She's lost access to David and any future grandchildren. She can't attend family gatherings we're at. Her reputation is in tatters. Chloe's relationship with David is non-existent. She still blames me. The chef's kiss moment was a family wedding a couple of months ago. We were there. Eleanor and Chloe were absent due to the restraining order. Several relatives offered support, glad the toxicity was dealt with. Seeing Eleanor's usual queen be thrown empty because of her own actions felt like justice. David and I are doing well. It was a horrible ordeal, but it made us stronger. We're focusing on our own peace. Our home feels lighter. Eleanor built her own cage. She wanted to clear me out. She's the one cleared out of our lives. She faced the direct, unavoidable consequences of her choices. Good riddance.